Blessed day to you, all my sports to the bone people. Back at it again with another video. Thank you all for tuning in. Hope everybody is doing okay. Hope you're all having a fantastic day thus far. Now, coming off that series defeat to Australia, I decided to spend some time and revisit the policy that was sent out by CWI in February of this year. According to CWI, they are now using a data-driven scouting system to identify and develop talent that will eventually go on to represent us at especially the test level. Now, after this series defeat to Australia, quite a few fans have been asking, who are the selectors? How are players selected into the test team, right? What are they looking at? Well, when this document was made public in February, they said they would have started using the next staging of the West Indies Championship to start compiling data. And this was prior to Australia, right? So I'm assuming they have already started. So I'm going to go through the policy. They will let you know how players are identified, how they are selected, and how they get into the pathway to the test team. All right? After going through this, you can decide whether or not they are following this pathway. All right? So it says the system will involve senior talent managers, territorial talent identifiers, and a network of scouts combining to provide a structured analytical approach to talent identification. They say with the West Indies Championship as their first major assignment, this was when the document came out, right? The scouting team will ensure that every performance is tracked, analyzed, and reported, creating a clear pathway for emerging cricketers to progress to the highest level. You hear that? Creating a pathway for emerging cricketers to progress to the highest level. And I'm assuming that is why they were able to select some of these players to play in the South Africa A, the two South Africa A 4-day games that we had. I guess that's a part of the pathway. So just to let you know how these players are identified and selected now, right? They say former West Indies captain Ramnarish Sarwan headlines the territorial talent identifiers, right? He'll be looking out for Guyana. Then they have Henderson Brooms for Barbados, Delroy Morgan for Jamaica, Samuel Spencer for Leeward Islands, Gibran Mohammed for Trinidad and Tobago, Craig Emmanuel for Windward Islands, right? So that is what, those are the players, or those are the talent identifiers that they are working with, right? So according to what they are saying, these talent identifiers will be looking at the players and they will be scrutinizing their performance and stuff, right? They go on to say we are moving beyond just relying on what we see on the scorecard. This system ensures that performances are seen with context and with a focus on the skill sets displayed, tactical acumen, and game awareness. All right? They say we are collecting real-time data, analyzing performances consistently, and making informed decisions about player development. So according to them, a man scoring some runs, they're not just going to look and say, well, man score 100. They're going to look at the context and which the 100 was scored, and things like that. So they say the key responsibilities of the territorial talent identifiers are: 1, scouting and evaluation. Under that, they say attending matches and training sessions to assess players' technical skills, physical attributes, and mental strength. Reporting and analysis. Under that, they have compiling detailed scouting reports and maintaining player performance records. The next stage, they say collaboration. Working closely with the coaches, selectors, and high-performance staff to refine the development pathway. Who are these selectors? Who are these selectors that are selecting these players? Just as how we know the talent identifiers, we know who is in charge of this region, who will be looking at the players and bringing them in. Who are these selectors that they are talking about? They said they need to be working closely with coaches and the selectors, right? Who are these selectors? They say players in the region will now be seen and evaluated by multiple talent identification operatives, resulting in more information gathering and better balanced data and performance. They say with this accountability metric in place, our network of scouts ensures that no talent goes unnoticed. So according to them, they have enough people and the system is done in such a way that they can identify talent, especially young players playing in the regional championship. Now, you can let me know. They said that they were going to start it in the last West Indies championship. Based on how players performed in the last championship, I mean, I'm not saying that they can just go and select all of the players from the championship. I am, going up against South Africa in the West Indies A, the two West Indies A versus South Africa A games that we had. I guess that, that was giving some of those guys a chance to really, show where they are. But you can decide for yourself whether or not some of the guys that were selected, they were selected based on this pathway that they are working with. I mean, we don't know everything that they are working with in terms of the metric, in terms of the system, right? So they can select people and we don't even know because they said they're not only going off scorecards, so we probably won't even know what they are doing. They went on to say, we are moving into a new era of role-based, right? Role-based, data-driven selection that will have ripple effects across our cricket system, from the way players prepare to the way we measure their performance. They say, in addition, it allows us to examine deficits in players and to optimize through our high performance framework. However, I would like to reiterate that data-driven does not only equate to stats-based. Huge emphasis will be placed on qualitative data. They say beyond selection, the data will be used to refine player programming, ensuring targeted approach to getting players internationally ready. Right? So that is what they are saying. They have a pathway. They will be identifying players based on roles that they want the players to play, put them in a pathway, and then that's how they will get into the team. So they're, according to what they're saying, they have a lot of different stages and steps to get into the test team at international level, right? They said it started at the last championship. So they said that they have to look at them, not only the runs, not only experience, but they are looking at everything. They will go into the high performance center, go into the pathway, get them ready for the international games, right? So that is what they are saying. That is how players are selected based on or will be selected going forward. I am assuming that some would have been looked at for the last series that we just played against Australia, because they started this whole system the last West Indies championship, right? They said the West Indies championship is where we expect, listen, the West Indies championship is where we expect to see our next generation of test cricketers emerge. Listen, the West Indies championship is where we expect to see our next generation of test cricketers emerge. You hear that? Not just looking at a man playing T20, looking at a man playing ODIs and believe that you can handpick him and give him a role. With this new system, we will have more eyes on players than ever before and clarity about what we are looking for. This ensures that selection methods are consistent over time and based on merit and data background insight. That is what they are saying, my people. All right. Some of the players that were selected to play against Australia, they might be averaging more than some of the players that are actually, still performing in the playing in the championship. But how long ago did they come up with like an average of 30, 35, 33? How long ago? Yep, the players need to be consistently playing red ball cricket. A man might be averaging 33, 34, and he's playing a whole lot of T20s and ODIs, and you pick him up and put him in And it don't make any sense because he's not acclimatized to the red bar because he has been playing for a while. So if you have the policy and you think the policy is going to work, then work with the policy. Work with the policy. You understand? Work with the policy. It's going to be very interesting to see how they go about selecting the next team for India when we go up against India and New Zealand. I know that the youngsters that they have there at the academy, those players are the ones they are trying to channel through the pathway. The players in the West Indies A team, they are trying to work on them and bring them through. But very, very interesting. Very interesting. You know, I just thought I would go back and share with you all how players are selected, how they are given roles, and who the talent identifiers are. They said that talent identifiers will make recommendations to the selectors. Don't know who the selectors are. But go and leave it right there. Big up.